Hi, I'm Matt from 18 Bikes. I'm responsible for all of the frame building, and I thought it might be interesting for people to see where that happens, so I'm going to give you a bit of a workshop tour. So from where I've just done that introduction, I'm stood in front of the door into the workshop and you get a pretty good view of everything that we have. It's not a very big space, but I'll walk you through everything. So first thing you come to is a floor standing sander. It doesn't actually get used a huge amount when building a frame, maybe a little bit of deburring, but it's handy to have for when we're doing other things, making tooling, personal projects, that kind of thing. Again, a chop saw gets used to cut head tubes to length, and any major shortening of tubes gets done in there just to save me with the hacksaw. But again, just a handy thing to have and didn't cost a lot of money. We've then got kind of the office space, so computer is usually sat there with bike CAD loaded up and obviously hooked up to the speakers because you need some tunes when you're in there on your own. We've got a little library of some reference books and catalogues and things, some parts ready to get allocated to frames, and then onto the first workbench, where at the minute I'm just checking off a Reynolds order that we've had through with some seat tubes and allocating some tubes to upcoming builds. So first one here we've got is it's actually a pinion frame, so we're waiting on some parts from pinion for that, and then this one is a gravel frame that at the minute most of the tube set hasn't been decided, so at the moment it's just a rear end. Then we've got a sink, not very exciting. Some more storage over here, so we've got other tubes ready to get picked. Lots more random stuff. We're actually looking after somebody else's jig at the moment as well. So that's a Bicycle Academy, I think they call it the low cost frame jig, might be wrong on that, but it's a really cool bit of kit. So if you're after a jig that doesn't cost the earth, they're the guys to call. Some more materials. So that's bar stock and things for when we're making tooling again, some angle plates and stuff. I've missed out, we've actually got another tooling rack just above the sink there and more tubes above. Classic motorbike, because why not? Then the bench that's in the centre, we've got an arbor press that we use for dimpling the inside of chainstays with a tool that I made. So that's there. Bench grinder, which is mainly used for sharpening tungstens for the TIG welder. Vice, which has currently got a mock-up of a flat mount brake in it to be able to show a customer. And then I've actually neatened this area up quite a bit recently. We've got the alignment table with that post in the far corner here. You mount the frame on the bottom bracket shelf there, and then using these various tools here, along with some of the stuff that's up there, we can check that the frame is exactly where we need it to be. Then this table over here tends to have the sort of work in progress. So at the moment I'm building two frames, two 500mm reach number 9s. One of them's actually in the jig, so that's why there's an empty egg box there. That's the tube set for the other one. Then got a toolbox which has got all sorts of stuff in, so got a lot of marking out tools, screwdrivers, all the little files. Then in the bottom, more specialised like drills, cutters, taps, more measuring equipment, and then frame prep tools, which should probably be on a wall rather than like that, but work in progress. Then we're on to the main bench, and they're the tools that get used most often. Tubing blocks at the back, all the different sizes. I've actually just remade a few of them, so that's why there's some that are very clean. Again, these ones, these are from Bicycle Academy. Again, really nice bits of kit. Those guys know what they're doing. Rack for frames that are in progress, or those ones are actually old prototypes and some of my old frames. Gas bottles that live in the corner. The main vice, can't have too many vices. We've currently got, I don't know, counting up, 6 in here I think. Not all set up, there's one that lives under the bench in case we need it. But a big solid vise mounted to something solid is really important in frame building. You do a lot of work in there, so if that can't hold your tubes where you need them to be, it's useless. You're not going to manage to do what you need to. We've then got a fairly standard pillar drill, and where most of the action happens on making a frame, the milling machine. This is a Harrison horizontal. You actually see a lot of UK frame builders use these. I think Shand have got 2 or 3. I know Field have got 1. There's a lot of these around. They're cheap and they're very solid for their size. So even though this machine is old and worn out, I can still get very accurate cuts with it. We've just had some tooling made, so this is in the sort of prototype stage. On the right hand side, this is for mitering chain stays and seat stays. It's designed to be fully adjustable for road, mountain, gravel, anything, tapered tubes, round, straight, bent, whatever you want. So we're in the prototyping stage with that. It may well go into production and be available to other builders, so if you are interested in that, let us know. The other thing is we've had this tubing vise mounted on this rotary table for a long time, but we've never had a sort of set stop for it to be able to make repeatable cuts. So that's what this piece of extrusion and then this head tube mounted in a pivot is for. I've actually not used that yet, so again, I don't know whether that's going to have made a massive difference, but it's a work in progress. Then the other thing we've got is the matching Harrison L5 lathe. Again, from the same era, for the same reason, that for its size, it's a very solid piece of equipment. On a frame, it doesn't get used a huge amount, mainly for facing head tubes off, facing top of seat tubes, that sort of thing. But again, very, very useful when you're building any kind of tooling, because so much related to bike frames is round. You need to be able to make things the right size, the right lengths fairly easily. So I've made dummy axles in that. The post that's on the alignment table was machined out of a huge bar of stainless on there, and countless other things that are floating around the workshop. So they're all the things to do with the cutting of the tubes, and obviously the mill, like I say, does most of the work. You'll get a tube out of there and then it has to go into the jig. So at the minute, like I say, this is a 500mm reach number 9 frame, or half of one. Once you've got the miters done, you'll end up with something like this. Then all of the little braze-ons need to be added. Again, the whole locations for these are usually done in the mill, so it's another job for that. They're then silver soldered into place. Then once this frame has chain stays, it will be ready for welding, and all of those tubes will get cleaned. They'll be sanded at the ends where the joins are, cleaned with acetone, and then welded together on the main workbench, having been tacked in the jig using our miller welder that lives under the bench. Hopefully that gave you a good overview of what happens in the workshop right up to the point where the frame is welded. Obviously after that it goes off to, we actually get them dipped first in manganese phosphate, which gives a rust protection coating on the inside and outside of the frame before they're then powder coated. Then they come back to us, we stick decals on them, head badges, all the cable guides, that kind of stuff. Then they're boxed up and they're ready to go out to you. If there's any stage of this that you're more interested in, let me know in the comments, and I might do another video focusing on a particular area, showing exactly how a piece of equipment is used. So yeah, if you like the idea of that, just let us know.